Alright. Well? What do you bet this is a Korok here? What do you bet? What'd I tell you? Yaha! You found me. Well, off we go. So, yeah, I'm surprised that I didn't need warmer wear while I was here, that my pants are good enough. I'm honestly kind of surprised. So there's something going on here. Rito Village is looking a lot colder than the last time I was here. Rusty halberd. Can I shove it onto something? Yeah, I guess that, but like... Look, I remember where that was this time. Yeah, sure. And then, yeah, I guess I'll use the last of my spiky hoe here before it breaks. I kind of like how this is the Rito Village theme, which itself was a Dragon Roost Island theme. But a bit more snowy, bit more calm and stuff. Well, maybe not calm and stuff, but the more snowy feeling, more tranquil and stuff. Might as well do this while I'm here. I was gonna wait until I got some more, like, until I got one more, then I could get two at once. But if this is here anyway, I may as well do it. But yeah, Rito Village looks closer to its Age of Calamity version. What was the Age of Calamity version again? It's been a little while. Was it super cold there? One tire for normal cold, two a tire for super cold, just like in Breath of the Wild. Well, that's what I figured, but I thought that it was super cold over in... Like, where is super cold then, if it isn't this section of the world? I thought this section was super cold. And I've been around here exploring without, you know, the extra protection against the cold, and I've been just fine. So I'm confused. I would think that this would be super cold. But I guess not. Hi! No, I did it again. The beds are too soft and inviting. Customer who's sleeping. I wasn't sleeping, not me. Welcome to Swallow's Roost Inn. I have any other guests at the moment, so rest easy and rest well. I just wanted to check in here. Now, recruiting Rivali was on a snowy map. Oh yeah, that. I don't know if we ever saw the village. I do remember fighting Rivali though, and that being in the snowy area. And the music for that, like the boss battle theme, I believe it was called Rivali Ace Archer and Aviator, I believe was the name of the theme. So good. That was such an amazing tune. I love Age of Calamity music so much. It's so good. Like, who knows, maybe Tears of the Kingdom can still blow me away with music, but so far, out of the trilogy of Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity, and Tears of the Kingdom, Age of Calamity is easily my favorite soundtrack. The soundtrack of that game slaps. Wow, that's expensive. I guess I can come back here whenever I want, though. You know, I guess I can. Yeah, I'm totally warm enough. Alright. You know, I could always duplicate my gems and sell them to you. It'd be nice if I had a diamond. Well, it'd be nice if I, was lucky in Minecraft and I had a diamond. And just duplicate those and then sell them, and then I could get, like, the full cold gear and stuff like that. Super cold probably for the temple. Oh, could well be that. Could maybe be. Soup ladle. Oh, maybe I should, Soup ladle. Age of Calamity made the crazy design choice that actually made the soundtrack play in the game. Yeah! I know, right? What a crazy choice they made. Bam. Man, the music of that game is so good. Like, I know it's a spin-off, but it has to be one of my favorite Legend of Zelda soundtracks in general. So good. Amazing soundtrack. If I don't know if I ever would. I've thought about it before. But if I ever make, like, a video on my favorite soundtracks on the Switch, like top 10 favorite soundtracks on the Switch or something, Age of Calamity would definitely be on there somewhere. It's really good. You know, real schnice. Yeah, it's a lot more snowy and alone here than the last time I was here. You know, it's definitely a bit of a difference. I wonder if I can find somewhere in the world that would sell diamonds. Hi, Teba. Rivali's Landing. If I had just played Breath of the Wild, there's no way I would remember your name. But because I played Age of Calamity, I remember it. Well, actually, maybe I'd remember it because of, like, the Breath of the Wild video essay that I made a while back. But, you know, just from playing Breath of the Wild, there's no way I'd remember his name. Okay, that's one that I've marked. Whee! You know I can do it!
That's not fair at all! You know I can handle it! Checking out that huge cloud wouldn't be hard. I could even do it alone. If we don't do anything, the village...
Tulin, young Rito warrior. So, Teba's kid? Okay. Ah! Link, they told me you were missing. It's good to see you doing well. Yeah. Teba, new Rito elder. Ah. Very nice to see you again. You remember my son, Tulin? He's grown taller, though perhaps not yet grown up. Well, maybe I would if you didn't treat me like a hatchling all the time. As long as you still think you can take on the world by yourself, you'll always be my little chick. What, you think I can't? I'm already fully fledged, you know. Change your tune when I ace today's scouting trip. You all could keep wasting your time treating the Song of the Stormwind arc like it's real, but not me. Listen, you. Unbelievable. Tulin wants me to let him go and find what's causing the blizzard. He's having trouble hearing no. He mentioned a song? But yeah, took lots of story elements from Age of Calamity. Well, that's a good then, because I kind of liked what Age of Calamity had going on. There was a note that I made in the Scarlet Violet video essay when I was talking about what Breath of the Wild sacrificed for its open world, and I mentioned that it was story because you didn't, experience a story in the here and now of Breath of the Wild. And I say, like, that's why I'm glad that, Age of Calamity exists so I can actually experience the story I heard about. I've had a couple comments of, actually, it's not canon and it's not the actual story. It's like, yeah, I know, I played it. But even if it's not the exact thing that would have happened in the past of Breath of the Wild, you can still piece it together and reason out what happened in the past of Breath of the Wild. It's the exact same, save for some minor differences at the end. It doesn't take a whole lot of imagination to figure out what happened in Breath of the Wild version of Age of Calamity, What funny story you share with this game are your 6th graders who constantly talk about the game but couldn't afford the limited edition, so you brought them the art book so they could browse it during class? Oh, that's awesome there. Yeah, considering how popular this game was, I didn't even browse around for special editions. I was like, yeah, that's not happening. But I got to see it because of Anima. Anima got one. So we hopped onto a Discord call one day and she showed me all the pretty pictures and stuff, which I appreciate, so I got to see it as well. But yeah, that's awesome. It's an old folk song here in Rito Village. Long, long ago, when we faced a different sort of upheaval, the village was saved thanks to a great flying ship. So claims the song that's been passed down through generations. It's a song for children, mind you. Few adults still parrot it as if it were true. Still, every now and then, get reports among the Rito of a flying ship. Wasn't Meadow a flying ship, sort of? Combine that with the blizzard caused by this upheaval, and it seems less far-fetched. This is sort of cutscene-like, I don't know. I probably would have used one of the previous scenes if I used it in a thumbnail, even if the Song of the Stormwind arc is just a children's theme. I suspect that there is something lurking high in the sky. It's, what's his face from Skyward Sword? The guy that you feed the big pumpkin soup to. Why am I forgetting his name right now? Levias! They're so turbulent now that no Rito can fly close enough to look at it. This is why I say we need to make careful preparations to find the truth. Tulin. If this was Breath of the Wild, I could use glitches to fly up there. But alas, thinks we cling to that song out of cowardice. But these are Rito matters. You came for some purpose, yes? What? This is terrible news. So then, not even Hyrule Castle is safe. Princess Zelda's disappearance and the strange phenomena around the world are related somehow. We Rito would ordinarily love to contribute to your search. This abnormal blizzard shows no sign of stopping. Food has grown scarce. Everyone I could spare is already out researching the blizzard or scavenging for food, so that's why it's kind of empty. My husband hasn't been able to leave the village much since becoming the village elder. Wish there was something I could do. But maybe I'm not the one you want. You should try asking Hearth. My friend Hearth has many sources of information, so he might already have a lead about Princess Zelda. You see the 2 bonfires out that way. I almost read that as buffoons for a hot second there. But yeah, Age of Calamity basically went just like Breath of the Wild until the heroes from the future appeared. Yeah, pretty much. From that point on, the Breath of the Wild story was basically over anyway. Yeah, pretty much. Because the heroes would have died. Link almost and Zelda would have saved him. Don't really know what people expected to see without the divergent path. Yeah. Like, basically, that would have been the point that Age of Calamity ended. But instead, it's like, here's a different way the story can go. And more other content leading up. And then, like, happy ending in this version. I like the way Age of Calamity did things. It would have been kind of neat on one hand to see an Avengers Infinity War kind of thing where the heroes lose. but we can already reason out how the heroes lost. And if I really wanted to imagine it, just stop playing Age of Calamity there and then rewatch the cutscenes from Breath of the Wild. Like, it's not a big deal. You know, I really liked Age of Calamity. There's an Lodgeneer there if you'd like to try visiting him. I quite like that game. Well, in like its story and music aspect. The gameplay aspect, I much preferred the progression of the original Hyrule Warriors. It was a lot more satisfying. Once you max your battery, you can construct a mech to fly there? Like, that's how I expand battery? Or something? You what? Oh, I got the, I should check the profiles. Personally, I feel that video games that force you to lose are dissatisfying most of the times. Yeah, could well, but you need to handle it, like, really well. Like, that was something that I actually really liked about Last of Us Part 1, is that there wasn't, you know, any clear right answer at the end there, and it's like, that's not exactly the best ending, but I guess it's not the worst either, and you can kind of understand where the characters are coming from. That I liked. You know, the story, I really like Last of Us Part 1. It's just that PC port of it was so garbage. You know, they rushed it out so fast, clearly to capitalize on the success of the show, since that had only just finished recently airing season 1. Man, they rushed that port out so soon before it was ready. So, like, that game, in terms of its quality, was so awful just for the port. Like, the game itself felt like it'd be fine if it was just fleshed out. But that port, so bad. What am I checking my inventory for? I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Apparently, it's fine on PS5, from what people tell me. So, I would have played it on PS5 if I could have. But alas, I played it on PC, and so it was garbage. But anyway, story-wise, that was a really fascinating aspect of, like, here's a debatably bad ending for a game, but, like, you can't be, like, super duper dissatisfied. It gets you thinking, like, huh, that sure was something. So that was an example of how to do a story with a kind of bad ending, but, you know, do it right, in my opinion. But I feel like we don't really see that a whole lot. There's not a lot of games that have the courage to try that. And I was a little bit worried about Age of Calamity before it came out. Like, are they going to do that? Is it going to be all that satisfying? Because an actual bad ending at the end of a Zelda game doesn't really feel right for the Zelda brand, the Zelda IP. And they did, like, a reasonable workaround, I feel like, that, you know, made sense. It'd be really cool if your companions from Breath of the Wild that appeared in Age of Calamity here in Tears of the Kingdom would say something about, like, yeah, I once went to the past and caused this diverging timeline. I had an adventure with another you, Link. It was really cool. I doubt that they'd actually say it, but it'd be really cool if those characters in this game, like, actually said something about that. So that Age of Calamity was actually, like, you know, canon with the companions and stuff. Will be pretty neat. In terms of Age of Calamity becoming a separate timeline and all that. But the companions in this timeline still having, like, their memories of having gone there, you know? To that alternate timeline. That would be really cool if they mentioned it in this. I doubt they will, but I'd be down for it, you know? But yeah, let's see here. Expanding battery is a different matter. Oh, a different thingamabob there. Just meant that there was some battery thingamabobs up there. Okay, do you mind? That was not the head. You should have gone for the head. Well, come on! No, my spiky hoe! Crap. I don't know, man. I have a spiky spear now. Come on. Okay. Okay. Come on. Spiky spear. I missed. What am I getting rid of? Oh, I broke something anyway. I don't need to get rid of anything. What? What? I don't... Sapphire sword? What do you mean sapphire sword? Oh, it's a sword with a sapphire on the end. No ice rod? Oh, if you put sapphire on things, it creates a frost effect? So you can, like, make your own frost weapons like that? Oh. That's cool. Yeah, let's see here. Then The Last of Us 2 happened that absolutely didn't understand that it's a video game and not an HBO show. I've heard such mixed things about Part 2. I'll play it whenever it comes to PC, or if I do end up picking up a PS5. But again, it's not high on the priority list because there's so many other games going on anyway, so, like, there's no reason to right now. Describe the ending from The Last of Us as bittersweet, which you really like. Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it. Also, the trend of PC port must have an apology PNG every time they release it. It can be good essay material. Yeah. Yeah, was there an apology over Last of Us Part 1 on PC? I wasn't paying a massive ton of attention to, you know, the online space around it when it came out to know if there was or not. If there wasn't, there definitely should have been. But yeah, a lot of studios are just like, yeah, just ship it out in whatever state it's in. If we need to put out an apology, we need to put out an apology. But we still get reward and make a whole lot of money. But yeah, that, man, that game was a mess. And I didn't know how to review it at the end, because, like, the game itself was so good, but that version of it was just so bad, you know? It's just that specific version of the game was hot garbage, when the game itself was actually a good game, you know? Man, went on this epic time travel and fought with another Link. It was awesome. Link, okay, Teba, let's quit with the drugs, alright, yeah. What would this Link think about it? But, you know, I would love if those characters talked about that alternate timeline that they went to. Because canonically, they would have went to it, created that diverging timeline, and then came back to this world, right? Is what would have realistically happened there. So I would have loved that. Let's see here. I've used Magic Road, though. The Sapphire effect is better, you think? Oh, Magic Rod. I assume that's a type before. But yeah, I guess I'm out of meals there. Apology letter probably got lost in the mail alongside Elden Rings. At least Elden Ring, like, fixed itself, like, pretty fast. Like, Elden Ring on PC when it first came out, man, that was god-awful. But at least it wasn't too long. Last of Us Part 1 on PC has been out for, like, what, 2 or 3 months now? Something like that? It's still pretty broken. Last time I played it was a couple weeks ago. You know, to wrap up the DLC there. And it was still busted. Like, the DLC was the most busted thing that I saw, considering the whole rave room. And you walk into a room and just, like, everything is bright white. And it was crazy that it wasn't even dropping any frames. It was running at a stable like, 60 FPS. But, like, the entire world was just, like, the sun was right in your face, essentially, level of brightness. It was insane. But no frame drops or anything. It was crazy. So, what a weird game. I'm almost tempted to do, like, a very short video essay on it. Oh, okay, just a little puddle. That makes sense that it's being frozen over. It's pretty cool, actually. But yeah, most consensus is The Last of Us Part 2 is bad because if you really like Part 1 and scattershot story structure... Oh. Hey there, are you here because you spotted the bonfires? The blizzard makes it hard to see where you're going, so we keep these bonfires going as a beacon for lost travelers. They have a lot of firewood, but it's worth it. You can spot them even from up in there. As proud as I am of them, they can't beat the spotlight set up around that fancy Skyview tower. Oh? Sounds like it looks in the image of God when into that room. I probably did. It was insane. For anyone that hasn't seen it, oh, I would just want to show this little thing where Bob. For anyone that hasn't seen that one specific room, it was probably the most broken room I've ever seen in a video game in my life. You know, like, I thought that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was pretty broken. But when I played Last of Us Part 1 on PC, it straight up said, "Hold my beer," is what it was. So let's see here. Hold on, if I turn on display capture for a hot second. So if anyone wants to see this, this is part 45. This was the most broken that I saw it get to. So already you can see it kind of breaking, and then you step in, flashing lights warning, I guess. And, yeah. No frame drops or anything. Stable 60 FPS, running super smoothly and amazingly. But, yeah, and there's me in the top right in the video there. Yeah, Last of Us Part 1 on PC. So, yeah. Insert that Circus song. I should know the name of it. I think I know what you're probably referring to, but yeah. That was Last of Us Part 1 on PC. Gosh dang, I turned my monitor off instead of changing input. Last of Us Part 1 on PC. So, yeah. Ellie was on her LSD trip. Yeah, must have been. Hello, Frazzy. Yakety Sax, maybe the name of the circus song? I'm not entirely sure. But, like, that room was insane. Luckily, I didn't need to do anything challenging in that room. But the actual final level in the DLC, I'm at, like, this lower area, and there's a bunch of guys coming from above, and they can come at me from, like, straight or from the two sides. So there's, like, the 3 entrances, and they come at me from all 3 ways, so I have to pick a direction and deal with the guys, and I get, like, 3 shot within that when I had full health in that final level. And man, if I went left, it was the rave room. The bottom level was a completely green room, so if you step into it as well, you become green, and anyone else that steps in it becomes green. And just above it was the rave room, which looked basically like what I just showed you. And anything that steps into it becomes rainbowy like that. So it was kind of hard to see, like, both myself and the other characters when you step in and everyone becomes, like, the same rainbow. And everything kind of blends together. So that final level, I was playing on the hardest difficulty because I always do that of grounded. And, you know, it was already hard because of that. But the green room and rave room just made it even harder. But yeah, won't warm you up like a bonfire will, but it's hard to beat it for size and sheer brightness. So yeah, I guess the flashbang, yep, it was that. So yeah, that final level was probably one of the most difficult video game levels I've played in quite a while. Made harder by the green room and rave room. Islands are pretty incredible to have built something so impressive. Yeah, crazy, huh? Dark Eater Madeir bought the arena. Wait, that looks like the Last of Us room? Wait, you what? A Dark Eater Madeir is a Dark Souls thingamabob that I faced, right? Because it is familiar there. But it's been a little while and I need recap. I have the memory of a goldfish right now. Can I have these? Found these strange things at the foot of Heber Mountains. They're oddly shaped, aren't they? Done every test I can think of, but I haven't learned anything. Not even what they're made of or what they're for. All I know is that they're pretty heavy and pretty sharp. Probably hurt if you got hit with one, huh? Yeah, if you put it onto a weapon. Well, I've got all I'm going to get out of these things. Want them for some reason, they're all yours. Oh, thanks. Yoink. Giant Dragon needed some time to beat in Dark Souls 3. Oh, was that the optional boss thingamabob that, had, like, the multiple heads? Was it that one? Rusty Claymore? Sure. This. Bam. I'm taking these. Just have this on my back for now. It looks so silly. I love it. I'm taking your wood. I'm gonna take that out of context. Hi. Whoa, I like your hairdo. Link, you're alright. I worried after I heard you had gone missing. What happened? Well, you see, there was this alternate timeline, and... so you're looking for Princess Zelda. Sorry to tell you that I haven't heard anything about her. Feathers are full dealing with a more immediate problem. Everyone from the village has left to scavenge for food or to investigate the cause of this terrible blizzard. And all that has been hampered by the sky monsters that seem to be everywhere. We're spread too thin to deal with them properly on top of everything else. Sorry, bud. Wish I could do more for you. Though now that I think of it, maybe Tulin could help. Maybe. Now Madeira is just one head. What am I thinking of then? Dark Eater Madeir. Oh, I think I was thinking of one in Elden Ring, an optional boss in the Ohio area. Yeah, Dark Eater Madeir here. I was thinking of the one in Elden Ring that had multiple heads. That was in the place that you get teleported to after burning the Erd tree. Is what I'm thinking of. Wish it showed the actual model. I see his art and he looks familiar. Oh yeah, the Ring City. Okay. Yeah, and I was stuck on him for a while, and that was like multiple parts across different sessions, wasn't it? I remember now. Man, I guess after 100%ing Elden Ring, that's like at the more forefront of my mind. So when I thought of Dragon, I thought of that one in Ohio. That messed me up a little bit. Man, I forgot how much trouble Dark Eater Madeir caused me. Oh man, and Minecraft Phantom is in Tears of the Kingdom. Oh yeah. I've seen him around and stuff there. Right, you weren't around for it, but Tulin has developed a way with wings that puts the adults to shame. Even in this vicious weather, he patrols the skies and reports all kinds of useful information. His wind gust technique is something to see. None of the rest of us can pull it off. Rivali's Gale? Even stern Teba acknowledges Tulin's skill is a cut above. Kid does preen about it more than he should, but, well, it's worth asking him at least. Last I saw him, he was with Gasane and Lysa on a trip to find food. Wah. In case I use it for any thumbnails. Thinking they were on their way to Heber South Summit Cave. It's to the northeast from here. Cave is past the cliff out front and up the mountain road. Should be a bonfire marking the spot. So just trek that way and look for a bonfire or something. Oh. Find the bonfire at the mouth of the cave and you'll be on your way to finding Tulin. Okay. Also, think about Age of Calamity. I think I mentioned it earlier in this series, but not in a while. I didn't talk about it too much. But as this game was leading up to release, sometimes I'll go browse around on Twitter out of curiosity and see, like, what things are being said out there. One tweet that I saw that was gaining a lot of traction was somebody saying, like, man, people don't give Nintendo enough crap for stuff like this, with a picture of Age of Calamity, and were apparently, like, really convinced that it was just, like, some cheap, quick, cash grab, hack and slash crap thingamabob. And I just looked at it like, what? I love that game. The game's great. I don't get it. Drawing up as a special menu for those out scavenging for food or investigating. Greens are hard to come by in this blizzard, but we'll be fine if we get a little creative with our cooking. With the right ingredients, a little food can go a long way. Yeah. Just spicy pepper warms you up so you don't notice the cold so much. So will I be going to the ultra cold area if I go that way? Not many of them here, but you're welcome to use what's available. Tough situations like this, everyone needs to look out for each other and help where we can. Okay. One thing is, hereditary here is something Rito can learn. Tulin should not be related to Rivali, I don't think. That's same, especially some characters like Impa were so much fun to play Age of Calamity. Impa was like one of my favorite characters in that game. So much fun with like the runes and making the clones and stuff. So good. It was a fun time. My biggest complaint with Age of Calamity was, as I was mentioning a little bit earlier, just how it handled progression. This was something that I mentioned in the short Age of Calamity essay that I did a while back that talked about my favorite and least favorite things. Because in the original Hyrule Warriors, you had the adventure map all laid out around you. And you could directly see, like, the tiles that you're making progress along. Like, you're seeing yourself make progress across the map. And your icons that show bronze, silver, or gold. And it's really satisfying to make all these gold markers across the map. Whereas in Age of Calamity, it was just, yeah, here's a whole bunch of orange thingamabobs all willy-nilly across the map to do in whatever kind of random order and do them. Sometimes more will appear. What causes it? Who knows? Like, will doing this one unlock some more? Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? And it just didn't really feel like satisfying progress because I didn't really know what I was working towards. Whereas in the original Hyrule Warriors, it was directly mapped out on the adventure map. And it was really satisfying to, like, you know, flesh it out and get all those gold medals and stuff. Made me feel a lot more compelled to get it done. Whereas in Age of Calamity, I just felt like I didn't really have that reason. That was my biggest complaint with that game. But generally, I quite like that game. You know, Goron's Shield is hereditary. The Zora Heal is something learnable. Gerudo Lightning is back, hereditary. And Rivali's Gale is something or other, who knows. Read about the Book of the Stormwind Arc? Sure. What do you want to read? The Stormwind Arc legend. One day, the winds that ought to blow in Rito village ceased. Then the heavens grew stagnant and the earth fell to ruin. The villagers looked skyward for a solution. They saw a figure pierce through the unmoving gray clouds and descend swiftly towards them. Believing no ordinary being could fall from the heavens, the villagers called this figure a god. And the gods stood atop a hill day after day, longing to return home to their island in the heavens. Sounds like, you know, there's a lot of ways that you can fly in Breath of the Wild. Maybe it was just some player utilizing the glitches there. Villagers, forgetting their own troubles, tried to carry the god home on their proud wings. If they were a god, you'd think they'd be able to get back to, what do I know? Yeah, who could say how far it might be the place this god came from? Puny god, I guess. Your biggest gripe? Well, I almost said puny gripe. A biggest gripe is how you level up weapons. They can only use other weapons to do so, made it really cumbersome, and when they increased the gap to level 50 or 60, it was absolutely unfeasible. Yeah, the amount of hours you need to put in. I never maxed out any weapons in that. I didn't play that far, but it seemed like a major pain. And then, yeah, you gotta burn through a bazillion things. And it also sucked that, you know, most characters just had one weapon type. Link had 3. I think he actually had 4 with DLC. Because he later got 1. I think it was the Master Cycle? Did Zelda get the Master Cycle? I don't know, he got something with DLC. But despite having 4 different movesets, 4 different weapon types, he still has the same inventory space as everyone else. Meaning if you want to infuse weapons together, I guess you can use the different types, but your inventory space feels very limited because of that. You know? Was the case. Some random Zonai just fell off? Oh, I guess it probably is what that's hinting at, huh? They all took flight in turn, each hoping to reach a place above the clouds. Alas, none had wings strong enough. Seeing this, the god told the leader of the village that returning to the heavens was possible if the Rito gathered materials. Zelda 2 movesets, her light bows, and her Sheikah Slate. And I could have sworn there was Master Cycle as well with DLC. There was a DLC thing later that also gave her Master Cycle, and there was a new one with Link as well. I forget what it was. The spirits hide, the villagers set about doing so. The god nodded upon seeing the tall pile of materials. Thus they understood would be enough. What is this, rabbits go home? The god poured a strange power into the pile, and several small boats were assembled. Cautiously, the villagers boarded. The small vessels began floating up into the air. With the god leading them, the boats rose higher and higher, soon passing through the thick clouds. The vastness of the heavens took the villagers' breath away. Floating islands dotted a clear blue sky. Need to start the game again. The DLC of that game was actually pretty cool. The villagers rejoiced songfully, and then, with reluctance, returned to the earth. I like the DLC of that game. One day, the winds at the village roared back to life, and shocked the villagers looked to the sky. Floating above them was an enormous ship that the god had sent in gratitude. Also, Age of Calamity is one of those games that's kind of on my mental list of, like, the playthrough is done, but I can do a smidge more if ever I'm feeling like it / have the time. Maybe one day I'll just randomly hop into Age of Calamity for a smidge more fun. I need to remember how to even play anymore. Numerous oars on both sides began to move like wings, soundlessly churning the skies. Air blew across Hebra once again. Skies cleared and blooming flowers rose from the ground. God had given them the blessing of wind. This arc that saved the village from catastrophe came to be known as the Stormwind Arc. So ends the story of the Stormwind Arc that saved the village long ago. Table of content. So baffled that we never got 3 Hopes DLC. Yeah, same. But I'm kind of glad that we didn't, because I still have 2 routes to go in that, and I'm so behind on Fire Emblem stuff, and I'm so pooped to Fodlan after making, what, over 400 parts and over like 70 or 80 some streams of the Fodlan saga. I'm so done. And even though I know I have 2 routes left, part of me is kind of almost thinking about just not doing them and hoping that people forget that that's a thing that I still have left to do. Is what part of me is thinking about. Because, my god, I'm so done with Fodlan. You know, program a bot that plays for you. Yeah, just make it like a task or something. Do the playthrough for me. Let's do the song there. Master Cycles for Zelda while Link got Darth Maul dual-ended Guardian Whip. Oh yeah, it was the leg whip. The Guardian leg. Let Ch8rity commentate. Yeah, that's the way to go. Once a god fell from heaven, stilling the Hebra winds. The heavens grew lifeless, just as the air below thinned. With the world in upheaval, we pledged to help the Lord. A line of ships soaring, built as a passage skyward. The god ascended to heaven, leaving behind an ark. So if it's still here, I can use it and go up there. Its winds brought us new life thanks to its great divine spark. Okay. Okay.